Last fall, a new era of Harvard football began with dramatic last-second victories, an 8-win season, and the program's 19th Ivy League championship. The road to building title team number 20 and a third consecutive Ivy crown continues today as we bring you the first ever broadcast of an Ivy League spring football game. The Harvard Crimson takes center stage with an eye to the 2025 season and a historic trip to the FCS playoffs. It comes your way next on ESPN+. Overview of the rules today, because it's not a usual game. You're going to have the first string offense against the first string defense, and then at some point the second string guys will face off against one another. At times there will be full tackling, other times it'll just be thudding. Andy Orrick will be on the field. He'll be calling the sacks with his whistle. Might aggravate some defensive players based on when he blows that whistle, and we'll have a running clock, 15-minute quarters, except for the final 2 minutes of each half when they'll have a 2-minute drill opportunity.
Yep.
Say Torres, he's in the green no-contact jersey. Torres competing with Sam Kaiser for the backup quarterback spot behind Jaden Craig. And we start off this spring action with Torres calling his own number and scampering across the 35 to the more athletic than he gave him credit for when he first saw him last spring. Looked good in practice. We saw him in a game as the first handoff goes straight ahead, and churning forward to about the 43-yard line goes Isaiah Abe. Game on the bench as he recovers from an injury. You got to look at the offensive line there that returns 3 starters. Add Thomas O'Brien and Brandon Sullivan to the mix.
It's it first of the half.
And we have time to
hear the two units, and there were some games where the offense carried the load, other games where the defense kept games close and the offense was sputtering, so really picking each other up.
Torres under pressure throws low, intended for the sophomore running back Maddox Reed. And we take a look at those names in the front 7. That is the area that sees the biggest turnover on the team as a group from one season to the next, as Torres shovels this one. Reed on 3rd and 4 will get tripped up right at the marker. See if this out there. And Torres working in that shotgun. The Harvard offense uses that just about exclusively, as throwing over the middle, a catch made by Blackburn across the 30-yard line. It's a gainer of
one coverage, breaks it inside. That was a perfect throw.
Give it to the sophomore running back Reed, and he'll churn his legs up across the 25 down to the 24, and a pickup of 4 yards.
We saw last year the 2-quarterback offense with Charles DePrima.
He's got a man open in the seam, looking for the tight end, Sanders Daniel, and he was tripped up at the end, pass incomplete. But it'll be a big test on this green group of linebackers. They graduated all 3 of their linebackers from last season that started. Torres showing off the legs and the arm, but does not connect with Dean Boyd, the senior wideout from Boardman, Ohio.
Last year, one of the best kickers of his class.
Snap is handled, the kick on the way, and it does curl in past that right upright, and Kieran Core, who had a long of 34 yards in his first-year season.
Our lives, that might be the most wild finish we've ever seen. Right at the end of that game, scoring chances laid, Hail Mary, that was dropped.
So now the second stringers get their first opportunity. Jordan Harris on the hand.
The offense versus defense. I mean, with the running clock, I think the number you're looking at, if you're Scott Larkey, if you can keep this under 35, I'd say relative success, because obviously a shortened game with the running clock.
Give it back to Jordan Harris. Didn't compete last year for the team. He played in 2020, and so it's going to be very fluid throughout the day.
Yeah, we saw Caden Kaufman as well in some 3-wide situations with the ones, so see guys on both sides of the ball.
Kaiser, first chance to throw, and we get a whistle. Flag is out there on the field. He was 4 for Kaiser in the second string offense. And they give it to Reed, and he's tripped up. Looked like he was going to get to that spot, but brought down. It looked like maybe Dorsey Benefield was in on the tackle. The sophomore, those tackles, they brought back both of their starting tackles. So we have a 4th and 1, and they'll run it again, and there's the second burst by Maddox Reed to push the pile and get the first down. It looked like that you're doing something really impressive to the coaching staff, and Mickey Fine raved about him. Kaiser has a little bit of time and loops this over the head of Cameron Ware, rising sophomore wide receiver.
Unable to keep that throw in play.
Amari Gales and Dillion Bradley are two of the names to watch as safeties for this group, as they'll hand it off out across the 40-yard line on
point, dictating the line of scrimmage, being able to get that first push of these running plays in between the tackles, yielding 4 to 5 yards.
Kaiser rolling to his right, throws to the outside, and it's just past the hands of Sanders Daniel. Get in as many plays as they can. That's one of the big goals for today.
Yeah, special teams work, something a big focus in spring ball.
To the outside and just mistimed it. He was looking for Sam Talaga, the rising sophomore tight end from
Coach Fine wanted to know if I was going to go for it on 4th down. I said, absolutely not. I want to get a kick. So now it's good because we got the stop there by D. Now we get a short field. They got to have a little challenge here to deal with a short field for the offense. So I'm happy with everything so far. If they treat it like a game day, it's going to help them be that much more prepared when we actually get to it.
Got to practice that stuff too. All right, Coach, I'll let you get back to it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Guys?
One thing Amanda's got to watch out for, maybe Ty Bartram returning a
December right now with these conditions, but it's good to play in this type of cold weather. That's the goal.
A little floater pass for Abe, who's got room to run, making his way past the secondary, and finally knocked out of bounds by Owen Johnson.
Get positive plays out of it.
Hands it off to Abe this time. Had some room. That offensive line opening up big chunks there, and he's inside the 10-yard line down to the 8. And a pickup of 5 yards with one another.
Yeah, and one of the facets as well defensively for this Harvard team has been those hockey line changes on the defensive line, 4 fresh at a time.
There's Abe. He is met at the 4-yard line, still pushes his way forward, and he'll have enough for a first down. It'll be 1st and goal, Logan Reska. So on 1st and goal, Torres gives Abe. He goes nowhere, in fact goes backwards. First man to hit him was Dillion Bradley.
We go, I step away now. Red zone situation, like you said, big for the defense.
Abe, hole right side, burrows down. Is he in? He is. Touchdown. Isaiah Abe, the senior from Kennesaw, Georgia, finds the end zone, and for the
last attempt, setting the edge. You'll see Abe flush out, goes right through that B gap. Plenty of room, just riding off Brandon Sullivan, who cleared out the space.
Competing for the kicking duties, and his kick is good to make it 10-0 for the offense. So the extra plays at the end of the quarter were offensive players, and his first job will be handing the ball off. So a run for Maddox Reed, who's been the most heavily used guy. Gordon is a sophomore, rising sophomore from Indianapolis. Said that nobody has really emerged fully as that trusted backup quarterback option. He likes the way the guys are playing. As here goes Gordon for a scamper for a few up to the 29-yard line.
That rough draft going into the summer of what things look like right now if the season started today for the coaches, but there is still 5 months, a lot to happen, fall camp, before you really get into the swing of things. So I think for a lot of these guys, clear expectations going into the summer, what the coaching staff is expecting is we'll get a blown sack there, Andy Orrick. And also Chris Gorman as well, the two ends.
Option play, and Harris will not get where he needs to go. There is a flag on the play, and thrown in the...
You see Gordon going with it. If Scortis can only get one arm, he's not going to get him, so definitely a good sign to see the two-way ability.
Harris escaping tackles, and he's finally tripped up at the 34-yard line. And that's a big... As there goes Reed, and he is whipped down from behind. And the strong play by Josh Fedd, the defensive end from Baltimore.
Hasn't found that touch just yet. You'll see maybe if you get maybe a short throw, confidence-building throw, get one.
Plenty of time, whips it to the right, and looking for the running back, Reed. There on the hit was Connor.
Switch out, so the guys being able to stay at 100% readiness.
Reed, who's had a heavy workload today, he gets dragged down at the 34-yard line. Walsh was there.
The ball, 5-6 yards, good drive starters.
Kaiser to the outside, and that might have been picked up off the turf by Kaufman. They're going to give him the reception out to the 40-yard line. It's a first down, but Caden Kaufman rising. So Mickey Fine would love to see is just the emergence of these wide receivers, because they're also facing is there goes Boyd on the back shoulder and out of bounds. You're going against a really experienced defensive secondary. Harvard The offense moves inside the 40-yard line. Reed on a flea flicker, back to Kaiser, breaks down, now will run with it. They blow the whistle for a stop.
A lot of experience, both covered corners, as well as Bartram, the leader up top.
Kaiser rolling left, throwing down the sideline, and out of bounds went Brady Blackburn. He's trying to fight through the contact from Damian Henderson.
And sharpens iron. You get better going up against these guys. And yeah, Damian Henderson just wears them like a blanket right there. 9 breakups last season.
A little dump off, Jordan Reed inside the 35, trying to find the marker, and he'll be a yard shy. Picks up 15 on 3rd and 16. And it looks like it, and he will get contact, continue to move those feet, and pick up the first down. Bay is a load to bring down. He was described as downs, and he said, I will not make that same mistake early in this next season. This is Maddox Reed. He'll be tripped up again. It's Connor Walsh taking his shoe off. It's a pickup to the 26-yard line.
We're there.
2nd and 8. Kaiser has all day throwing downfield for the end zone. Blackburn hauls it in at the back line. It's a touchdown. And there's your highlight play for the rising sophomore, Brady Blackburn. Trying to make a push for a starting spot. Plays like that will do wonders for him.
And just after Damian Henderson shoved him out of bounds a couple passes ago, it's Henderson he beats in coverage, and Kaiser has just gotten better and better. There's the touch. That's a ball that is only in a spot where Brady Blackburn can catch it, and Henderson is right on him. That is perfectly placed, fading the back left corner. Just a perfect throw. How about Kaiser bouncing back? His first 4 passes were off the mark, but he has been pretty right on the money here in this second drive he's had.
Kieran Core knocks through the point after.
These are the big situations they were looking for. Keep it the same 2-minute drive. What do they have set up?
There is Maddox Reed. Out to the 20. Says there's 1 timeout, but I don't know, maybe Andy Orrick will throw him a bone, give him an extra one, as there goes Torres, and a great connection with Cameron Ware, the rising sophomore from Windermere, Florida. And he's got a first down as the clock stops temporarily.
The Harvard offense now take the brakes off and treat it like an actual game.
A misconnection there with Dean Boyd, senior wideout. That previous hookup to Ware, he's a guy to keep an eye on.
Sure, they put him in motion here.
Got a flag that pops out. He might have been going forward at the snap, and Torres on the move will end up getting tackled, quote unquote, by Sean Lyon, the linebacker from Stockholm, New Jersey.
Offside.
Third offense. Blitz coming. Torres over the middle. It's caught, and a first down for the Crimson. Hauled in there by the tight end Sam Talaga. Rising sophomore from Michigan makes his first.
Minute.
Torres, pocket breaking down, scrambling free, and he'll get brought down. Mark him down after a pickup of about 4. The defensive back, and the clock continues to run inside 40 seconds.
The timeouts come into play. We'll see if they're going to treat it just like it's still the 1, or if they give 3 just with a special situation.
Protection held up, but Torres had nobody open downfield. Just
the bright lights, getting this game on TV as well. Full game day experience.
There's Ware, makes the grab on the outside, but won't escape the coverage as he gets taken down. Tackle made by Trey Thomas. The York would very likely consider going for it on 4th down in a regular season game. Torres throws a little bit behind Ware, makes the grab and the adjustment, and scampers free for a pickup of 8 and a first down.
In the slot, just find that opening.
Going back to that left side of the field, Brady Blackburn, who caught the touchdown, evades the tackle and gets out of bounds. So the clock's. Torres putting together a nice drive here. Looking left, he's looking for Blackburn in the corner of the end zone. He's got another. Blackburn's 2nd touchdown grab of the day just before halftime.
Back. He's looking left. He identifies the one-on-one. He's not looking anywhere else. It's just about making a good throw, and he drops this one right in a bucket the two 19s in the corner, and it's Blackburn that beats out Trey Thomas, and a couple of touchdowns here for Brady.
So Brady Blackburn, a 26-yard touchdown. On the previous drive, he has a 23-yard touchdown grab as the point after was good.
That is the end of the second quarter.
Crimson. And even though there's time on the clock, they will leave those 7 seconds and take us to halftime. But after maybe a little bit of a slow start for the Crimson offense, Tyler, picking up in good showings by both quarterbacks, Torres and Kaiser. And Brady Blackburn is both of their key to get underway for the start of the second half. We're going to hear from the man who is the architect of the Harvard offense as the first play of the half is an incompletion from Dante Torres. Mickey Fine is standing by with Amanda Keene, who made
in a little bit of the rotation as a freshman. I think has helped him, and just kind of learned from that, and then just did a great job, through this whole spring.
Coach, you don't have any possessions off, no series off up here, just calling offense for an entire.
Exciting stuff for them, so it's been great to see a little bit of success early on. Hopefully that'll continue.
All right, I'll let you get back to it. Thanks, Coach.
He's watching a 3rd and 7 take place right now, and they will give a sack, help maybe open up some things last season for this Harvard team.
Well, how about who's under center now he's going to have to call plays for?
This would be Ty Fine, Mickey's son, who missed his first season, much of it with an injury that he suffered at
quarterback and coordinator. Good thing that interview with Amanda and Mickey came the last series, not this one for Ty.
He hands the ball off to Makai Moore, a senior running back, and he'll push his way forward to the 40-yard line. Sends the tight end Talaga in motion to the right. On 3rd and 4, Fine. All day to throw, and now he'll keep it himself, but he runs into a quartet of Harvard defenders, so will only be given credit for a 1 yard. 2 wide receivers to the right. And once again, Talaga moving this time in motion to the left. Play clock was running down under pressure. Fine gets rid of it, but it's incomplete out in front of Johnson. And so the Crimson can't get it on 4th down. They announcing that they will participate in the postseason for the first time, as this is a long ball. It's incomplete and broken up with an interception by Ty Bartram. Bartram making the play on what looked to be a big gainer to Brady Blackburn.
Out of nowhere comes Ty Bartram. Another post route. Couple of guys hit into each other in the secondary. Blackburn is open on this cut middle. He was wide open, but just lofted a little bit too much. Bartram, a direct route to it. That's where he had pick sixes in his career, getting right to the ball. He has such a knack for it. And what a catch there as well. One-handed at extension, because
when he talks, other guys listen because he's not one to speak up all the time. As the running play will be given to Makai Moore as he'll make his way to the 28-yard line on this next drive. It's being led. We talked about the schedule just a few moments ago, as there's a wild snap and a handoff given, and not going very far is the Crimson. No gain on the play. You really can't pencil in any wins across the schedule.
Yeah, Columbia picked in the basement of the preseason poll, but John Poppy, what a great first year. A share of that Ivy title, 3-way tie for it. The 3 teams at 5-2. A couple years in a row that 2 lost.
First an explosion.
Yeah, that one he had that almost went for a touchdown in the first half. Watch out here.
That's a mess, and it's picked up by the defense as Owen Johnson recovered the fumble. Too much traffic in on that play.
So having that continuity for the program, the familiarity, and he raves about both coordinators.
Torres has a man open. It's Harris, the running back, who makes the grab just outside the 10-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 13, but Dante Torres, everything going to the right. He zigzags back to the left for a big gainer.
This is a well-designed play against the grain, weak side wheel route, which no one accounts for, because the moment that Dante Torres rolls right.
Harris making his return to the team and making an impact here today is Torres looking for the end zone. He's got his tight end, Logan Reska, for the touchdown. The rising junior from West Seneca, New York, hauls it in and sets the stage for him to make a big impact in 2025.
Still plenty of competition for this backup quarterback spot, but I'd say so far Dante Torres, the leader in the clubhouse. He played last year. 2 of these touchdown passes have just been inch perfect. A lot of coverage in the end zone, but just lifts the big body of Reska. 6'5", lets him get up there with the defense. Can't grab it.
Point after from Kieran Core with a light rain falling is good. 31 point.
Adjustment that we've made. It's no different than any other spring that we've had. Regardless, we're going to wake up, put in the work, come to practice every single day. So just because the times change hasn't really changed anything for us.
Perfect. Thanks so much. I'll let you get back to your team.
Player of the week had a couple of interceptions in the game against Columbia. As the offense for the second string takes back over, and it'll be a
defense that can play nickel, can get 5 DBs out there at once. So maybe we'll see a lot more of that too, just based on the linebacking core, if it's more of a 4-2-5 at points with the strength in secondary.
Harvard's offense runs it on 3rd and 8. There is
job so far with getting us connected beyond just like our own locker room, but with like the community and stuff and doing things that involve others. So that's huge.
Listen, I just had your back. They almost threw it this way. I was ready. I was ready. I had to protect you. All right, we're going to send
himself a spot as the number 2 quarterback, and he and Kaiser have. There's been a lot of daylight between those two. As this ball goes to the running back, Reed, we get a flag as this play gets strung out for only a gain of 1 on the outside. And we will wait on the flag. It is thrown in the offensive back. On the defensive line, Andy Orrick says we need him to be an elite player, and he has the skills to do so there on the inside of a green group on the line.
Yeah, now going into his senior season, expecting big things from him, especially in the interior of the line, the run stuffers that can really set up everything else. Blackburn still going with him.
2nd and 16 as Torres will go to the air. He's got time, now steps up. Torres with some blocking across the 30 and goes out of bounds at the 32. If they mark him down there, it'll be a gain of 8. Instead, they going for it. The winds have shifted as they often do here at Harvard Stadium. Torres on 3rd down. Over the middle, it's hauled in, and it's enough yardage for a first down, and there he is again, Brady Blackburn, who's been the star player today.
So 8 in coverage. This is a good job to find the soft spot in the defense, and it's usually the middle of the field where you can find it.
They find Sanders Daniel, the rising sophomore tight end. He makes the grab.
5, that is good learning, teaching experiences for this offense as well. How do you deal with a drive that starts behind the sticks? What does the playbook look like for Mickey Fine?
Torres, and did not communicate with Reska, who had stopped. He was coming back to the quarterback, and no matter anyway. It's Harris in the backfield with Torres on 2nd and 17. Torres under some pressure, and it ricochets around. Diving attempt was made. That was, the linebacking crew is green as far as experience. Unlike some of the guys on the defensive line who come back to the team, they played last year even if they didn't start. Online, 2 games, 1 tackle last year. Those are the guys who are listed at the top of the depth chart, as this play will be blown dead out across the 40-yard line, and another catch by Blackburn.
Here's one thing, and
of the 8 to win the title, that leaves the longest drought as far as teams that are looking for an Ivy title at Cornell. They haven't won it since 1990, and all of a sudden that was a good-looking run for Makai Moore. They give him credit for 5 yards as they've moved away from the live tackling here at this portion of the game, it seems like. Sam Kaiser on the run throws good running team, a better running team than they were last year.
Especially on the outside, can help with the jet sweep motions when you have a guy who blocks so well on the boundary.
Kaiser, that pass might have been tipped at the line. It was. He was looking to the outside to the run.
A ranked victory.
Torres in the shotgun, looking left, and this is nearly intercepted. It was bobbled, nearly held on to A.J. Lopez, making the play at Polar Park in Worcester against Holy Cross. Earned him National Defensive Player of the Week, as Isaiah Abe will only pick up a couple here. And 3rd and 8 upcoming. 2-minute timeout. We will have stoppages like we would in a typical game. Defense trying to stand tall again, and we'll get a whistle for a sack as they had the play action meaningful than that. It will bear the name of the Ivy League's winningest head coach.
Only fitting.
So 2-minute drill starts with a handoff to the running back, Kyle Johnson. Ty Fine is the quarterback for his second series of action, but we were thrilled to have him. The door is always open for him to join us on the air as Johnson gets the ball and will make his way to the 28-yard line.
Force the defense's hand to use timeouts in bleed time, because in a situation like this, you might very well be punting the ball back to the other side.
Fine, flushed out of the pocket, throws right side. It's hauled in by Isaiah Kazavensky Jr., the junior from Weston, Massachusetts. Clock runs with 40 seconds to go. And that looks like it's going to do it. They won't try and squeeze out any more extra plays. And, well, they've been playing as two teams today, but it's, of course, one group that has laid the foundation this spring to get ready for training camp on August 20th. And then the 2025 season opener down in DeLand, Florida, September 20th. First home game, September 27th at home against Brown, and Andy Orrick hoping for as good of a start as in season 2 as he had in season 1, with a win and then an Ivy League championship to close things out.
Yeah, very good in season 1, and now some bigger implications going into season 2 for this Harvard team and the Ivy League as a whole. And these guys will go to summer, they'll get their training regimens, try and come back stronger and ready to go. And again, this 2 deep here today for a spring game. Just the rough draft.